What's going on, guys? King Trats here, back with another video on the channel. Today we are back with another episode of the highest rated bar food in my area. Honestly, after looking at this menu, I think we're gonna have to come up with a new genre. Like, this is too good to call bar food. So I think we're gonna start calling this bougie bar food. And I know I'm dressed like the brownie paper towel guy right now, but we move. When I get into the menu, you're gonna see exactly why. We went to a place called Tommy's Tavern and Tap. It is located in Clifton, New Jersey. Good ratings all around, and on Grubhub it has a 4.6 star rating out of 378 ratings. On Uber Eats it has a 4.6 star rating out of 143 ratings. On Google Reviews it has a 4.3 star rating out of 530 ratings. And I looked at the Google ratings. It had a couple of 1-star ratings for the weirdest reasons. One of which I can remember looking at, and it said that they wanted to watch the Mets game, but they didn't have the Mets broadcast, so they were upset about it. I'm a Yankees fan. I'm not mad. But this menu is absolutely huge, and it has a ton of different items. It even had a sushi section that was more than some sushi places I've eaten at. I didn't get any today because there were so many different things that I might have to go there like 20 times in order to get everything that I wanted. I'm not joking. It took me so long to whittle it down to a couple of items, and a couple turned into 5. So here we are. I'm gonna start off in the middle. Of course, it's been covered this entire time, so let's unveil this bad boy. They've got the bougie bar pie, which is the artisan flatbread pizzas, which I never really ate until last week. And this is no exception, man. This looks really good. This is spinach and artichoke flatbread pizza. Artisan flatbread. I'm from the trenches. We don't have stuff like this, so without further ado, I'm gonna get into it. They have a coal oven, and everything that was on the menu has a lot of coal fire items, which I thought was super dope. And their descriptions was like getting into the crazy foodie part of me, which is insane. Creamy spinach and artichoke dip. I'm gonna read this as I hold this off. Creamy spinach, artichokes, garlic, shredded mozzarella, and diced tomatoes. That is probably the most vague one that you'll see when I start describing this stuff. Why am I didn't know that. Okay, let's go. You get that wood fire, coal fire oven taste right away. The spinach and artichoke dip tastes homemade, and it tastes like spinach and artichoke dip, which I'm sure that's what they were going for. Then that is good. See if I can screw this up. Super thin crust. This bite just looks really good. I gotta get in here. Look at all that spin artichoke. I hear a lot of people like making this sound spin dip because it sounds more bougie, so I'm gonna do that because we're doing bougie food today. Garlicky, good amount of spinach. The artichokes are chopped really small, so I'm not getting those big chunks. I'm not sure if I would have preferred that or not, but it still works. I get the taste. And then tomatoes on the top give you a little bit of acid. I swear. I really like this crust. There's just something you can't duplicate unless you put something in like that coal oven. It gives it a very distinct taste. It's good, man. Nice job. Nice job. Everything's really creamy, really garlicky, and I think the thing that kind of brings it all together is that acid from that tomato. Nice job. Yeah, see that acid. Really good. This always comes a moment where I realize that I shouldn't eat everything. And this is that moment. So I'm gonna be greedy. Try the end piece. It counts, right? Because I didn't have an end piece yet. It matters. Ooh. Okay. Super thin crust, but it's delicious now. That was another sequence where I had to go put it away because I know I just keep picking at stuff and I'm trying to be good. So I did put it away. This is just, I'm weird when it comes to this kind of stuff. But when I saw this on the menu, I was like right away, I'm like, yo, I have to do this. Okay. Meatloaf. Yes, I have to, man. I can't help it. So we've got, oh my goodness. That in there is meatloaf again. I'm a big fan of meatloaf. I said it last time when I did another bougie bar, and this was no exception. When I saw the description, they talk so foodie to you. Just let me break this off for you real quick. Let me pull out the cheat sheet as usual. Let me go to this. Look at this. House-made pan-fried meatloaf, cheddar, and apple butter. Apple butter on grilled sourdough toast with fries. All right, let's do this. Right away. I love everything about this. That's right. Nice fry. Fried twice. The meatloaf is super tender, not tough at all. They didn't overwork it when they put it together. Sometimes people make meatloaf, they spend so much time like beating up the beef that it gets really tough, and you don't like that. This just melt in your mouth. Wow. I don't want to ruin this sandwich, but I feel like I have to show you. I'm not going to ruin it. You get the sharpness of that cheddar, the sourdough, really good bread. But what makes this is that apple butter. It's that sweet that cuts in. Oh man, they didn't overdo it. It's not like loaded with it, but it just gives that subtle sweetness to it that just brings this thing home with this good sourdough bread. I feel like meatloaf is highly underrated. I'm like one of 7 people that like it, but I love it. I love this sandwich. Good amount of cheese on here. Fry. Here's your fry. It's a double fry, meaning they blanched it once and then fried it before they brought it out to you. It's the only way to do fries in my opinion. Still got good crisp on the outside, even though it's been sweating in the container. And that is hard to do. Just look at this right here. All right, can you see this underneath my finger? This apple butter, out of bounds. That apple butter alone, man. How many times am I gonna say apple butter? Big fan. This might be a double take it away. Oh, I love that. Good amount of actual meatloaf on there. They didn't skimp on it. Thick pieces. You can tell they pan-seared it, so got a little crust on it. All right, one more bite. How juicy that is. Oh. Go away. If you know me by now, if you're new to the channel, hi, how you doing? Nice to have you here. But I can't go to a restaurant that serves wings without trying the wings. I do it every single time. This was no exception. This one is different than the ones I've had. Look at the difference in these wings compared to like what you see from most wing places. They're under their coal-fired wings. So I did these in a coal oven, which is different. Pepper? Got like some sauteed onions on this? All right, let me see. Come in here. Look at this. I can smell that, like, fire. I love that oven, man. It's different. Nice flavor. Oh, yeah. You ever had coal-fired wings? Kind of has, like, that, like, grill kind of taste to it. You just can't duplicate. Almost like charcoal grills. You cannot duplicate that taste unless you do it. Juicy. I didn't even have to sauce these. Oh, wow, that's good. That's good. I'm a fan. All right, let's try this ranch. Let me see. Let me see. Ranch me. These are good. Big wing, meaty wing. I think they're using the same provider that most places around here serves wing. If you live in my area, odds are if you order wings from a place, you're gonna get these Brontosaurus wings. I don't know who's raising these wings, but they all serve them. So, what it comes down to is how are you gonna differentiate yourself? Because everybody's doing it. And they definitely did that. Look at that. It's a good one. Comes right off the bone. They cook them perfectly. I'm interested to see how these will taste with buffalo sauce on them, because they're good by themselves. Oh man. I'm gonna do it. That is definitely a jalapeno. I feel like you gotta do this. Yeah. Oh my god. Get this away from me. Another one. Another one. He also threw, looks like, some roasted broccoli in there. Coal-fired broccoli. Oh, that's a meal. This whole thing. Oh, I gotta do one more. Don't eat it all. Don't eat it all. Good luck. Oh. Dub. Very, very, very good wings. Better than a lot of wing places. Bravo. Now, I keep saying the bougie bar thing, and this is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. You're not going to see too many places serving bar food that are going to serve this. Wow, that looks good. This is kimchi fried rice. I can smell the kimchi already. I can smell the kimchi already. You're not going to see too many bar food type of places serving kimchi fried rice, let alone fried rice. Big rice grains, huh? Let me see. Oh yeah, I can smell that. See if y'all can come into look. Look. I was expecting something different. And I'm not even saying that in a bad way. I expected someone to throw rice in with kimchi and fry it. Not to have the rice with a kimchi flavor. That is what they did. The rice itself, I hate using these bougie words, but it feels like it was infused with kimchi. Seasoned the same way. There's also a fried egg in here, which it looks like they actually fried and then put in. Because it'd be really weird to show you. It looks like a piece of an actual fried egg instead of how most people do it when it's like scrambled. This is not scrambled. This is a side order. What the hell? That's good. Because of that, you get kimchi taste in every bite. As opposed to, oh, here's a piece of kimchi, you know. I've already eaten 3/4 of it. Only one grape. Now I'm getting to the bottom. A little oily. But the flavor's out of bounds. And that might just be because I try not to be too critical about things when it comes to getting it to go, because it's always better in the restaurant. I know a lot of people say that and I agree with it, but if I'm doing these kinds of videos, it's very hard to do so in restaurants at this time of day, because number one, it's going to be dark, and number two, there's music on that's going to drown my voice out, which would be a little hard to talk. And the kind of foods I'm doing aren't the type you can eat in the car. But when I tell you that this is delicious, understatement. Stop eating! If you're still here, you're probably a real one, because this is the end of the video, and I usually have dessert. But if you know me, again, if you know the channel, one of my favorite foods to eat, which no one likes but me, who guessed it? Yes, crispy Brussels sprouts, the most slept on vegetable in the history of vegetables. And here it is in all of its splendor. Bougie definition, because they talk in a food language that they know me, and it just gets to the core of it. So I'm gonna hold this up and read for you again. Whole grain honey mustard sauce, smoked bacon, and roasted shallots in these crispy Brussels sprouts. Damn, that honey mustard, oh my god, I know what this is gonna remind me of already. I already know. I know where this is going. Alright, first bite. Oh, look at that, look at that, look at that. I need some bacon, I need some bacon, I need some bacon, I need some bacon, come here. Look at that. Nobody likes sprouts but me. Why did you do this to me? I have to try this honey mustard though, because I think it's going to put me in the mind of something. That's some good ass honey mustard. When it comes to places like this, the big difference is when everything tastes homemade. When it tastes like people are actually making it in the back. And just like the other place that I kind of call the upscale, hipstery, bougie bar food, I say that with affection. It's not a slight. It's just that when I think of bar food, I think of a dive bar. I think of like wings and like potato skins. Not crispy Brussels sprouts with shallots. You understand what I'm saying? So, the ingredients do make a difference. Come back. The ingredients do make a difference. And it really shows. That honey mustard, like if I have some chicken fingers right now, which they do make, which I better fire, banger. But what this reminds me of, here comes the when I was a kid story. I'm sorry, food brings me back. We used to go to a restaurant called Bennigan's as a kid. It's no longer there. But every time we went, my family would get something called broccoli bites. And broccoli bites were these little round balls of cheese and broccoli, like about this big, which they would bread and deep fry, right? And they served it with honey mustard. So this greens type of flavor, obviously broccoli doesn't taste like a Brussels sprout, excuse me, brings me right back to them broccoli bites. But then you start getting the shallot and those bacon pieces. And there's like kicked up version. After this, I keep eating at places like this, I'm I'm gonna have to hire a person to just sit here and take the food away from me. Because it's very hard to stop eating. You may not know this, but one of the inspirations for why I started being a food blogger, Guy Fieri, if you're familiar with Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, when he reviews restaurants and he goes in back and eats, there's a person behind the camera that actually tells him to stop eating. Because you can't. And they have to film a lot, and you're not trying to get full off of one thing. And I always have to do that. So I think I'm going to have that person behind the camera being like, hey, stop. Because I shouldn't be eating still. It's a food review. I'm not trying to eat anything. But when you start putting together stuff like this, hey, move my face. There we go. And this honey mustard, which does taste like whole grain mustard, slam dunk. And another piece of bacon. Fantastic. This place is a franchise. It's not nationwide, but I know there's a bunch in this area. Yes, just yes. It's a franchise that has qualities that give you homemade stuff to it. So I wouldn't put it with like, you know, the level of like an Applebee's or a Chili's or like places like that. It's definitely a step above. And believe it or not, the price point was pretty similar. Every entree was about like between $15 or so, which is about the same price. So yeah, I would definitely, W's all around. Tommy's Tavern and Tap, Clifton, New Jersey. Delicious. Tell them I sent you. They won't know me, but it doesn't matter. We'll be back. More content. I love Yada hand signs. They made it to YouTube.